Okay, now it is already the conclusion part. We only have 5 more slides to go. Okay, before we conclude, do you have any questions?
None so far.
Thank you,
Very
ma'am.
good.
Okay. The conclusion of this study, as per Afnan, the participants almost unanimously favored the US and the UK Englishes, which can be attributed to an absence of awareness of the varieties of world Englishes on their side. The second conclusion is cultural influence can also play an important role, as native speakers generally make a better impression than non-native teachers who speak English as a foreign or second language. I would like to add that culturally Arabs preferred, no, I mean naturally and culturally they would prefer, it is because of their culture and their traditions, where they see Americans and British and people with blonde hairs, they see it as superior. In addition, the data and responses show that Scottish, British, and American Englishes are considered superior to Indian, Malaysian, and Filipino Englishes, apparently for the fact that the former speak English as a native language. So still we go back to the notion of superiority of those native speakers. And if I may add, Indian and Filipinos were part of the research because most of their household household personnel or household help are coming from these two countries. Majority of in the Middle East are Indian populated. If I would relate it to Kuwait, Indian has the most population here in Kuwait. Um, Second is Bangladesh. Third is Philippines. Then Egyptians, and the least is the Kuwaiti population. The main reason is that they're learning. They are almost exclusively exposed to the native varieties. As what I have said, um, because of the foreigners um, coming to the country to work for different developments, the students are already exposed to this variety of Englishes. But here, there are some limitations in this research. The scope of this study was limited in that it only evaluated a sample of Saudi university students with an advanced English level already. And one limitation as also is only 20 female learners were interviewed. I would like to stress this out that Saudi just recently recognized uh, women's uh, importance and women's um, what do you call it, advancement, and women's um, help to 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 the country, because culturally they they see women as inferior in many ways. So this study is very biased, even though it is analyzed it analyzed the quantitative data of male participants because there were no male respondents that was actually interviewed in this study. Another limit, okay, we are on recommendations already. So recommendations, the study should consider increasing the number of respondents so it would be authentic and reliable, and it should consider including a bigger population of respondents with diverse demographics rather than exclusively university students who already have an advanced level of English. So they should have included uh, Saudi females who are not at work, so professionals already, and maybe they can consider they can add the older generation as well. This study should also consider collecting qualitative data on male students to avoid bias. To conduct longitudinal studies in future research to qualify respondents' attitudes before and after attending courses in world Englishes. So they would like to have studies, longitudinal studies for future research. Um, and the focus should be on regions, the cities, and other than Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, so that the global awareness of Englishes is measured properly. So Saudi is a huge country and and is consist of different cities. So it should be the study um, should be conducted from the different parts of Saudi. So it will be more globally appropriate and more globally authentic since the population of the participant is higher and global interracial as well if possible. Okay, and they should consider, or Afnan should consider, including different and varied age groups as what I have mentioned. They should have for asked the old or the old Saudis and the younger Saudis, not only those students who are in universities already. And they should also consider addressing the paucity of practical studies on world Englishes in this region. And it can also be done in which native and non-native English educators collaborate, and the findings of such collaborations can be used for further enlightenment. And thank you for listening.
Congratulations, Teacher Des.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did a very comprehensive study, or you presented the study comprehensively. And you even included the limitations of the study as presented by the author. So if I may just add, before I ask you, what Teacher Des did is to add her own comments. For example, in the uh, anyway, in the part where it says the study could uh, could be biased about the results because of the pure female participants, but you use the word is very the words is very biased
Yes.
versus could be biased. Yes. Why
My
did you use very biased?
um studies wouldn't be putting the real happenings, or the what's really happening in Middle East countries. Um,
Mhm.
if as I've said, I have been here for 17 years in Kuwait, and I have traveled also some part of Saudi, and as per my observation, uh,
Yes.
it is actually very biased, because they still most, especially in Saudi, most of them, uh, the females, as an example, is only very recently that Saudi allows female to drive on their streets. So it's
Mhm.
one part of inferiority, that the problem of women empowerment in that country. So I
All
would
right.
say that it is very biased, and
Yes.
very less students or females were sent to schools, because they believe that women needs to be only at home, traditionally and culturally. And
Yes.
very recently that they had allowed women to be, and even to vote, ma'am.
Okay.
Voting.
So that's very good, Teacher Des, because in fact, you already started critiquing. Okay,
Oh,
that's how you're going to critic. You have to point out the limitations of the study, and as I have said, you did not only mention the limitation mentioned by the writer, but you also mentioned your own critic based on your own experience. So that's like what we are supposed to do in the critic paper, to point the good things and the bad things in the paper. So you started it. That's good. Okay. And one more question. Would the study, do you think the study would have a different result had it included the males?
yes. Because most of the students sent to um, native first language countries, or native language countries. What native speakers? What?
Yes, yes. Okay. The inner circle.
Yeah, the inner circle. Most of
Yes.
them were men.
Are
So
men.
yeah.